Hey everybody! Okay, check out this sketch made by me. I have decided to kind of put our Sketches Reimagined series on hold. And instead, I am going to go ahead and create my own sketches for you for my Wednesday night videos. I've been enjoying making sketches and I want to do it myself, I guess. So if everything works, if I can get logged into my blog okay, and if everything works well, below you will find a blog post. I know my blog has been stagnant for 2 years, but I really do have one. So my plan is to have a blog post that will include photos and the sketch that you can use if you like. And then I will have a new exclusive sketch for you with a new exclusive process video every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's my plan. Okay, but you guys know what? I don't know if I can get into my blog. So that's the first thing that might be a problem. So you'll have to check the description box below and see if I could get logged into my blog and if there is a blog post. Because if there's not, then that just means I couldn't get in. I am grabbing some Night Moves shimmers and I'm just splattering all around the edges. I am also using the Minte Mamarazzi collection that I love. And I'm going to be using some heritage photos today. So the sketch I created for today's video has 3 square photos. And so it's a multi-photo sketch, which I'm also going to try to do. I'm going to try to make them all multi-photo sketches. And then I'm just going to go ahead and splatter all around the edges with the black. I want to add there is going to be some pops of black in this collection, in this layout, because there's pops of black in the collection, of course. While my splatters dry a bit, I'm going to cut my title. So I want my title for this page to be Young Love. I'm going to use these waffle flower dies that I got from Cherry on Top. And so they have a shadow layer, a shadow die, and then the actual letter die. And I really like them. So I'm doing the shadow die in this nice pink. And then I am doing the letters in this floral pattern paper. Then I also have this little word love, which I'm going to stack on top of the young to create my title, which will be Young Love. Once I have everything die cut, what I'm doing is I am stacking and making my own thickers using those shadow layers and the layers for my letters as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of get my photos in place. I'm going to trim these photos down. The photos I'm working with today are of my aunt and uncle. These photos are from the 70s, and they're photos of when my aunt and uncle were dating and when they got engaged. So I just went ahead and trimmed them down a little bit so I could mat them. I thought that the colors, those 70s colors, like that rusty red and that yellow, were going to look really good with the rusty red and the yellow in the Mamarazzi collection. And it worked really well. I super duper love how this layout came together. I think it turned out really good. And I loved creating this sketch and using it. So I hope that you like this kind of refreshed sketch series, which will be every other Wednesday, and that you like the idea of having the sketch, of being able to go to my blog after you watch the video and grab the sketch for yourself. But also, you'll also be able to see lots of close-ups and the photo of my layout as well. So I've just cut, my photos were 4 by 4, so I cut them down to 3.5 by 3.5, and then I cut a mat of this beautiful kind of floral paper to go around my photo, just to give it some definition. And then I'm going to actually hit the edges with some Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink as well. So basically my 3 photos are going to go down the left side of the page, and then I have the middle one kind of off to one side. I did this so that I was able to add some embellishment onto the left side of that photo. And since my other 2 photos are color, but the middle one is black and white, that was the other reason why I chose to have that black and white one be in the middle, have it be a little bit offset, and then include a cluster so that it doesn't look out of place, but it looks very intentional, which is what I was going for. So I put down the top photo and the bottom photo, and then I'm just going to kind of pop the middle photo kind of in between the two, but with that gap on the left to add a cluster of embellishments. I want to use one of these cut apart pieces from one of the papers. Again, I'm really wanting to accent and bring out the rusty colors and the yellow colors. So I'm kind of trying to find a cut apart sheet that doesn't have a lot of that tealy color in it, right? I don't want a lot of the teal if I can get it. I don't want to add any of the tealy blue-green color. So I decide on these 2 cut apart pieces, and I'm going to kind of layer them up just like that in the bottom right. And then that's going to be the place where I can add my title, my die cut title that's right now just kind of off camera. If you'd like to pick up this collection, it is still available over at Cherry on Top, including the die cuts and all the papers, the chipboard stickers, like all the pieces are still in stock. So if you're looking and you want to kind of recreate my layout, if you have some 70s pictures that need a bit of rusty red and yellow in them to make them pop, they're still available, and I will link them up below in the description box. So I have these 2 3x4 cut apart sheets. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pop them down into that lower right side, and now I'm going through the die cuts. So the die cuts that come in this collection are fabulous, like fabulous. I love Minte die cuts. They have no white borders. They're cut really well. I love them as much as I love 49th and Market laser cut elements. Right now, those 2 sets of embellishments are my absolute favorite. I just love them. So I'm going through all of these different elements, creating these beautiful clusters. And then I want to kind of audition and get my title into place so that I can have a really good idea of how it looks. Making sure it's not too clustered, but that it's kind of nestled down in that lower corner of my page. On video, my title is going to look like it blends right in with that cluster, but in real life, you can see it just fine. It's completely readable. It looks really good, and it looks like it just kind of belongs within that cluster, which is what I was going for. For this upper right-hand corner cluster, I want it to be smaller, but I also want to be sure to include some space to add just a little bit of journaling. I don't have a ton of journaling. All these photos were taken well before I was born, before I was even considered. So I know who everybody is. I know what they're doing, those kinds of things. But I don't have any kind of memories of these photos or anything. So I just want to make sure that I'm adding a little bit of a who, what, where, and about when this was all, these photos were taken. I love, love, love the cameras in this collection because a lot of them are older style cameras, and I felt like they worked so perfectly for this era of photography because I feel like those cameras are probably from the 60s or 70s. It just has that look, especially the one Polaroid. I'm almost positive that is the era that the cameras are from, or most of them, not all of them, but a couple of them. So now I have my two clusters, top and bottom. Now I want to cluster up some more to the left of my photo. Again, I'm making these clusters like nice and chunky and interesting. And I'm making sure to include the colors that I want to include and the cameras and the different elements that I think are going to make this line work with my photos. Once I have my three clusters together, I kind of went through some labels and things and decided on this one. I wrote my journaling out with a Slick Writer pen because these are like a glossy kind of feel to the top of them. But that just gives me just enough room to write in my journaling, which you'll be able to see in the close-ups because I didn't do the journaling on camera. And so that is where we are going to call this layout done. Here are some close-ups and you can see the journaling right there. And like I said, in theory, everything worked and there should be a blog post in the description box. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day and I'll see you again soon. Bye.